All right, should be live now.
Okay, I don't see us yet, but
This is always the fun part. It's always awkward.
it's a little awkward, the waiting, especially because we always end up being live when we don't know we are.
Right.
So people are like already, oh, here we go. I think we're live. We are live.
All right. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, the last Wednesday in July, believe it or not. I don't know how it's August, not August already, but
Crazy.
today we have a really great guest. This is Angela Bliss. And first of all, I love her name.
I know.
Couldn't get any better than Angela Bliss. We met Angela at a craft fair last fall, I guess it was.
Yeah.
We'll go outside without masks on. And she had a booth at the craft fair where she was selling these totally cute shoelaces. They're all different fabrics. And we fell in love with them. We put them in our spring box for those of you who are lucky to get a box because it is now sold out. You got a pair of these cute laces, and that is what they're called, cute laces. So, so welcome to the show, Angela Bliss. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Our pleasure. So tell us what you're most passionate about.
Okay, that's a great question. I just love the name of your brand as well. It's just so inspiring. What I'm passionate about, for myself, I'm extremely passionate about being creative and always having creativity in my world. I practice yoga, so I'm extremely passionate about yoga and that form of a life. But in the greater scheme of things, I'm also passionate about inspiring fellow female entrepreneurs. And even on the bigger scale, things like mental health, that really is important to me, helping other people with their mental health, looking after my own mental health. So that's sort of one of my bigger passions, I guess, as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It's important. It's one of those things that people still don't like to talk about, but
absolutely
so important, especially times like this. It's
you
know, you think you're going along okay, everything seems fine, you're in a groove, and I've had one of those weeks where it's just like, what is wrong with me? And it's like, oh, I've been locked in my house for 6 months.
Yeah, my husband and I just had a conversation at lunch today, like, I don't know, I just feel depressed and I don't know why. And we're both like, yeah. And it's like, I know why. The world is falling apart around us. That's why. We've been locked in our house. There's no end in sight.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we've got how we look after ourselves, but also how we look after our community and the greater community as well. Absolutely. And exactly what you said, you know, it's sometimes unspoken about, you know, and I've suffered from depression, and it's like, it's okay, you know, it's okay to talk about it. And I think we're living in a world that it is getting to that stage now that it's okay to share. And I think that's one. I think that's such.
I agree. I think there are more resources. I think people are more willing to say they've had their own issues, you know. It used to be like, it's that whole like, you say it first, you say it, no, you say it first, you know. But I think more, you know, we have family members, we've all gone through it, we, you know, generationally, and, you know, it was such a hidden thing. And now it's like, oh yeah, I have that, you know, I take that medication.
I take meds for that. Yeah,
you know, and you know, it's really critical, you know. So,
we have people already commenting, oh yes, been struggling myself, break the stigma.
Totally. We also have a request to show the laces up close, so can you show them?
I have one here. So this is one of our popular.
Oh, it's so cute.
And
those.
It's all about, again, self-expression. Be you, and show yourself in what you wear, in your accessories. And that's what, you know, Cute Lace is all about. Be you, whether it's jazzing up your sneaks or your Converse Vans, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, so
Well, it's such an affordable way to change. Like, I've always been the kind of person, it's like, I buy the shoes, I use the shoelaces that are in the shoes. Like, that's new. But
Right.
once you realize that there's a product like yours, it's like, oh, I can express my feeling for the day. I can actually just swap out my shoelaces today. I could be in a leopard print mood, or I could be in a floral mood, and it's like, it's such a fun and different way to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Whether it is, this is who I am, and my expression of myself is through whatever it is, whether it's our Rainbow Pride or whatever it is to express yourself. Or, as you say, this is how I feel today,
Right.
or I want to wear the little florals, or I'm feeling a bit sassy for the leopard print. Why not swap them out,
Right.
And I love the reaction when I meet people when we do craft shows, and it's that light bulb moment. Oh wait, that's an option. I didn't know that was an option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for everybody watching, when you walk into her booth at the fair, it's just like, we're not talking about like, oh, there are 5 or 6 options.
Oh, no.
How many different products do you have?
Okay, when I do an event, I've probably got, it's getting silly. I've probably got 50 different styles. It's
So great.
I look for fabric. It starts with me buying fabric like
Those
this.
are cute. I want a pair of those.
Yeah. Those are our colors.
They're just going into production. Another
Let us know.
couple of weeks. But yeah, so I'm forever looking for fabric that's small enough. I get these
Right.
wonderful messages from our customers. Hey, do you have something that looks like this? And if I can find the fabric that is tiny enough, because guess what? It has to be thin.
Right. Right. Yes, so scale is really important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So and then that's how that's how it comes about.
Yeah.
You don't know this about us, but one of our some might say weird hobbies is that we make pop culture sock puppets. So there are these very elaborate sock puppets of famous people like David Bowie and Carol Burnett, and a lot of them are people who have passed away. We do a lot of in memoriams at the end of the year, but we're constantly down in the fabric district in LA, and it's all about scale. It's like, oh my God, that looks exactly like the shirt that actress wore in that movie, but the flowers are this big.
We need them to be this big.
I completely relate.
Absolutely. I used to own a fabric store, so that's how it's. I know, right? That's how this.
That's heaven.
Our sister Lisa's head just exploded when you said that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So take us back to that. So first of all, how did you get start a fabric store, and then what was the path?
That's a great question. So again, going back to my creativity, I have to be creative, whether that's knitting or crochet or dressmaking, or it's just something I have to do. And then in the early, I opened the store, I think around 2012. And it was this decision. And when you make those decisions and they're kind of right, and then all these things, all these gates, these doors open up, and it just happens. And so I had this idea, wrote the business plan. And again, I found a store that was closing. I didn't know this neighborhood. And I happened to be in this little town on this day. And I walked into this store and she's like, oh, we're closing. I'm like, really? And it's not like I took over her store, but then she's like, here's the landlord. He wants to speak to you. Wow. So here I have now the ability to open up a fabric store. And it just sort of really happened like that. And
wow.
But yes, and then we'd run classes and parties and all sorts of things like that. It was wonderful.
And where was that?
That was in just outside of London.
Oh, okay.
In fact, very close to St Albans. We were talking about St Albans before we went live. And
I love that place. I love that area.
Right. So I got to know it was a great learning experience for me as well, because I learned more about the fabric suppliers, etc.
Yeah.
I was learning skills as I was teaching skills, as we all do, and that's how I came across. That's how I started making my own shoelaces, because I didn't have time to make a dress or a skirt or make a sweater, but guess what? I could make some bias binding, you know, I could pull the cord through and I could make some shoelaces. So yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Who would think to do that though? That's so creative to
I
come
know.
up with that idea. Like most people would, you know, think of something.
And they're really beautiful too. These are the ones that were in the box.
Yeah.
They're the boho ones, and they're just like this great boho chic pattern. And I love that the tips all have the little silver tips. They're really beautiful and really well made.
What are those called? Aglets?
Aglets.
Aglets.
Yeah, you're ready for your crossword now. That's all.
I still don't remember what this part of the lip is called, but I remember So now were you in England when you came up with the shoelaces idea? And then how did you get to America and that journey?
Okay. So my husband is my one that got away, and I'm his one that got away. And we met back in 2003 when I lived in the States first time round. And we always call it first time round. We met speed dating in LA, and I was on a visa working for somebody else at that stage. Anyway, I lost my job. I had to go back to Europe. We tried long distance. It didn't work. Okay. Bounce forward to 2015, we reconnect through Facebook, actually. And like that, we're like, what are we doing? Life's too short. We should be together. So within a few months, we were in Las Vegas getting married. I'm shaking my head now because we still find this is hilarious.
Wow. So this is 2015, you get married.
I still have a store in the UK. So Dan comes and lives in London with me for a year or so, and it's great. But what he does is very US centric. So I decided I would sell my store, my business, and we moved to Los Angeles, and I went through the green card process. But meanwhile, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, so it's like I go, what? So I've got a number of scribbled out business plans, including the Cutelaces, because I love them and people love them and commented them. I'm like, this is a thing. So we were given a few connections in downtown Los Angeles, which is just this amazing place of so many small batch manufacturers. And I met with this guy and he's like, oh, we can do that for you. So it went from something that took me, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours to make, not, you know, there's no
sustainable business model.
To this guy, and he was just adorable and so friendly and so accommodating. And, you know, it's so funny because I wrote him these instructions on how to make bias, but he knows. And here we are. So then it started with him I would send him the fabric. I would buy a yard at a time. I'd go downtown. I'd buy a yard at a time, maybe 2 yards if I liked the fabric. And he would make the spaghetti for me. And then Dan and I would watch movies and we'd cut and we'd put the aglets on and package them up. And then it grew. And I did my first wholesale show in, again, Las Vegas. And we got all these orders. And I didn't have the product. You know, I don't even think I had the fabric. You know, and it just,
that was my first thought, was like, oh my God, did you have enough fabric, or could you find what people had ordered?
So it really grew, and I got so much, great feedback. And now my manufacturer completes to this stage. And now I buy fabric in bulk at 15, bulk bolts of the fabrics now.
Right.
That's where we are. But yeah, that's how I went from, so there's a little bit of a love story. That's how I went from owning a fabric store to being here and making Cutelaces into a business.
It's amazing. Do you miss having the store?
Oh, great question. Yeah. Okay. Yes and no. At the time when I had the store, I went through a lot. My dad was very ill, so unfortunately, I've connected the store with a lot of pain, and it's a full brick and mortar full-time job.
Yeah.
I actually have an online fabric store that I run as well, because I actually miss the fabric part of it. So, and it started as a side thing. I would buy fabric that I didn't know if it would work as Cutelaces. So sometimes it didn't. So then I would sell the fabric as a side hustle on an Etsy store. And that's grown now. So now it's its own thing. It's its own store. And there's some commingling, but now I can buy the fabric with a little bit more of a print. That's not going to be, but I love it. So I'm able to do that too. So, but yeah.
That's so great.
Yes, I miss it sometimes. But there are reasons I don't miss it, because brick and mortar is tough. It's very
That's
tough.
a lot of work. Yeah.
So what was your biggest challenge, do you think, setting up the business?
With Cutelaces, again, there was a lot of things that just fell into place, and it was an amazing journey, and I love every minute of it. My biggest challenges, as my career of being an entrepreneur, I found in the shop that I had, and I learned a lot. The biggest challenge was a physical. The ceiling came down on the shop one day and flooded. We had a huge flood, and there's all this. You're visualizing the fabric, right?
Yeah.
The apartment above had a flood overnight, and I woke up. I got a phone call, and the whole thing was destroyed. That was 9 months. The store had been open 9 months. Again, that would be the biggest challenge of my career. Yeah, so far.
Was anything salvageable, or did you just have to?
There was some things that were salvageable, but most things were not, because again, just by the fabric and yarn, and and it was hot water, so it wasn't just the wet; it was the steam that damaged everything. Yeah.
Oh, so sorry. That is a nightmare.
Oh, that's horrible. But you got back up on your feet. That's amazing.
Absolutely. So,
again, and how has COVID affected your business currently?
Okay, yeah. Thank you. It's so the shoelace for Cutelaces, that has affected the business, because it was a big part of my business was wholesale, and so of course my retailers are struggling. We're getting some wholesale business, so it's mainly retail that the Cutelaces have been sold through. But as many of us, I pivoted. My fabric store got busier because, of course, people are staying at home, finishing projects, or making face masks. So that was my first pivot. My second pivot was I reached out to my wonderful manufacturers based in Los Angeles and was like, hey guys, how you doing? Because, and they had just been approved to make face masks. And it was just timing. So I said to them, hey, do you need any help? Because they're manufacturers, they're not retailers, and they're not wholesalers. And they said, could you help us with our website, social media? Could you help us with wholesale? So I did. So we have
Wow,
been
that's
so busy, and I've got some. So again, it started with fabric that we use for the shoelaces,
Mhm.
because these are 100% cotton, etc. And then, of course, it's grown to other fabrics as well. So we've been, so that's more of a partnership situation, and so that's been keeping me super busy. Really,
That's amazing.
Bit
It's
of a
amazing
juggle.
how. But like you're saying with the store and everything too, it's like even in these crazy times, it just seems like, oh, that all clicked into place. That was
Yep.
meant to be.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's been that this journey with face masks has been incredible, because usually when you come up with a business idea, the learning curve is like this. When we started, the face mask business went like this.
Mhm.
And of course, everybody wanted the product now.
Right.
This was in late March, early April. So we had to learn really quickly and deal with so much so quickly, and it was incredible. And also the emotion of that product that people were buying, that they needed it so quickly, and there was such um, people were sharing so much with me through their messages, what they were going through and why they needed it. And it was for my niece because she's doing this. And the connection that, again, I have an amazing connection with my Cutelaces customers too. The connection with it about the face mask, because it felt like people, it was a panic thing, but people shared. So yeah, it's amazing part of this journey as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is interesting. Someone posted that they've become a fashion statement, and it's amazing now. Like, and I'm not even a fashion girl. Like, I'll just go out with whatever I have on. But now when I'm going out, I'm like, oh, I can't wear that mask with this, this pair of sweatpants.
Yeah.
I'm really aware of like, oh my,
Yeah.
that doesn't go with
Yeah.
this. I have more face masks than I have necklaces.
Yeah.
Right, me too, absolutely.
So bizarre.
And all sorts of new businesses are cropping up. I saw a thing the other day. Someone made a thing to hang by their door that had hooks on it for all their face masks, and then a little thing to keep the filters.
Love that creativity again.
Yeah.
And if we'd have had this conversation 6 months ago, 12 months ago, that would be the thing.
Yeah.
Not weird.
Again, self-expression.
Yeah.
Face masks.
Yeah.
And it's in your face. I mean, it's like you can't. It's not even like, oh, look at my earrings tucked under my hair. And,
Right. Yeah. You can't miss it.
all you see somehow now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a question. Are they 3 layers with filter pocket?
Yeah.
And can we get a link at the end of this that we can share with everybody?
Yes, thank you. So they're 2 layers with a filter pocket.
Okay, cool.
So they are double layered, and they come with 10 disposable filters as well. So the third layer goes in, but every mask comes with 10
That's
filters.
great. That's
That's great.
I love that.
I love that tie-dye one. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So cool, isn't it? This is a fabric that we make shoelaces of, which is amazing, and it's just come back in stock. This was out of stock. And it's just come back. But also with the masks, they are super comfortable to the elastic is so comfortable to wear. So.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That's good.
Some of them are uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I have one where like the elastic goes around your head, and so to get it on and off is like, you're trying not to touch your face and you're trying to get it on and off. I'm learning.
Yeah, when this first started, I made some myself, and there was like this shortage of elastic, Yeah. So I went for the tie ones. That was fine for some people, but I think the elastic, if it's comfortable, it totally works. Yeah.
I got one the other day that had little adjustable straps. Do yours have that? Those are cool.
Absolutely, because we all have different size heads.
Yeah, I have a tiny head, and the first few that I got were giant on me, and I was trying to tie them, and
Absolutely.
the things we think about now.
Yeah.
All right, so
Just a word of caution, my landscapers just arrived, so if it gets really loud, let me know and I'll mute, but hopefully I can stay on.
so far so good. So we're being asked in terms of, I think this is in terms of Cutelaces, but also I guess in terms of the masks. Do you have anything that is ballet, pink, gray, or black?
Oh, okay. Right. Ballet pink. I definitely have pink hearts. I don't have anything with a ballet theme. I'm sorry. Again, going back to those tiny prints.
Little teeny tiny ballet slippers.
I think she's looking for the
color ballet.
Color ballet pink.
Yeah.
Ballet
So
pink,
I think
right? Absolutely. I do have black and white polka dots, and I have black and white checker, and I've got black and white zebra. So yeah, so cute
Oh,
laces.
I like those.
Oh, I like those a lot. Yeah.
Cute laces. People ask me for plain laces. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I will not do it.
That defeats the purpose.
The Larry look. Yes.
Stand by your principles. That's what I say. This is an interesting question about the masks that didn't occur to me until like yesterday. And but Aileen is asking, are any of your masks lipstick friendly?
Oh, isn't that fabulous? I saw 2 articles today about masks and lipstick. And I don't know if they are. I'm going to be totally honest. I read one article was lipstick's done with now because lipstick
right.
you don't want to hear that, you know. So I'm not sure if I could. I'm not sure if I have your answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
What would make it?
You'd have to have some kind of like washable, like a vinyl or something, right? But then that feels like it would be hot and.
But it'd be sweaty, I think. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Aileen, if you have any, Aileen does amazing makeup. So Aileen, if you know
what the trick is,
lipstick friendly, let us know.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah,
there are some masks that actually like don't brush up against your mouth, right? They like sort of they're formed and they stay off your face, I think. So those would be lipstick friendly.
Yeah, that is true.
I would constantly bang it and.
Oh, me too.
And it depends on how
depends on your face.
On our faces, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great question. I love that.
I know.
And I love how eyes are now. I know eye makeup has been very popular, but now it's all about the eyes, and I just
yeah. Totally. Well, we were talking to somebody, I forget who it was, and we were talking about the fact that there's this whole happiness. It must have been our friend Ramona, who's a happiness coach. There's this whole happiness movement now in the world, and one of the things with happiness is smiling at people, and it's been scientifically proven that if you smile at people, they will smile back. They will be nicer to other people, and it just kind of spreads the goodwill. And on the few occasions that I've gone for a walk, I make it a habit when I'm going for a walk of smiling at the people I see on the street. And now I realize that they can't see me, and so I'm like trying to come up with other. I like try and
nodding,
but it just doesn't seem as like they're as warm as it used to. I mean.
It's true, and I've read articles again of people who are either deaf or hard of hearing and use reading. And there are designs of face masks that have this in a clear plastic.
Yeah.
And I remember reading an article about a gentleman who worked, I think, at Trader Joe's or something, and he was really struggling because of masks, and he then had wrote out a note, said, hey, I can't remember if he was hard of hearing or if he was deaf, and I'm struggling with because I can't see your lips, and people would write down requests,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and some of the words that he shared were just so beautiful, and people were sharing such kind words with him because of what he was doing, what he was going through. And I think you're right, whether it's sharing a smile or people who actually need to see your lips,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
it's all that as well, but and also your eyes can smile. So
Right.
Totally. I taught my boyfriend Tyra Banks smize. I'm like, you smile with your eyes.
I'm sure he did that really well.
I don't know that he thinks Tyra Banks he does it, but he's nice. So Anna says to spray hairspray on your lips to make the lipstick stay, but then she put 3 smiley face emojis. So clearly she's joking. Lisa says waterproofing. That's interesting.
okay.
And okay, Aileen says, I've been using liquid lips that dry down really dry and avoiding glosses so they don't transfer as much as a normal lipstick. She switched to disposable masks just to form them away from my face. But every once in a while, my lips will brush the mask. I think Nancy had the right idea about finding the ones that are built to not sit on your face.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Someone's going to come up with something, though. That's,
Oh, yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
that's the thing that's cool right now is everyone's so creative and coming up with all these things that we never knew we needed, but now we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you see, speaking of lips, this is totally off the subject, but did you see the thing, Marilyn Opitz, who's a friend of ours who's done a Facebook Live with us and is a makeup artist, an Avon rep, she posted a Facebook Live thing the other day where the new trend is, I guess it's plastic surgery to make your lips look like waves. So it's almost like you have like 1, 2, 3, like 3 peaks in your lips rather than 2.
And that's plastic
Interesting.
surgery, or is that makeup? Was that plastic?
It looked like plastic surgery. Maybe it was makeup, but it was wild looking.
That's commitment.
Really
Yeah, yeah.
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 Oh,
So you also said that you had yarn in your store and that you personally knit and crochet. So tell us about that side of your creative personality.
yeah, I was taught by my Irish grandmother to knit forever ago. So knitting knitting patterns can be like a different language, but to me, it totally makes sense. Crochet, I was introduced to more relatively recently, maybe 15 years or so, and I love it. I'm not good at the crochet patterns. I like to freewheel a crochet. I'll just go, and then I'll be like, okay, it wants to be a butterfly. All right, it's going to be a flower.
I love that. Fly away, little butterfly.
And then be like rings, butterflies on ring, crochet. But with knitting, my grandmother taught me, and she was an amazing knitter, and that's how knitting came into my world. And then my dad's mom, my paternal grandmother, was an incredible embroiderer. Her embroidery was just amazing, so she taught me how to do embroidery. Yeah.
Have you picked up any new crafting skills during the lockdown?
Yeah, absolutely. I got, what have I been doing recently? My sewing machine's always up, so it's always like, oh, I feel like making, just trying. The thing that I've never tried and I would love to is more pottery, work with clay. I'd love to do that. I'd love to do the wheel thing.
Yeah.
I
did that once a long time ago. I took a class and I was horrible at it. I thought I was going to just like sit down and be like, oh, this is great. And look how talented I am. Yeah. I think I made, But the thing is that those couple of things that I made that were nice were like free form clay stuff.
Okay.
I just did not take to the pottery wheel at all. I thought I was going to be Demi Moore and Ghost and
Everybody did.
make all sorts of amazing things. But
You didn't make anything amazing either. That's the thing about Demi Moore and Ghost.
that's true. That is very
Everybody
true.
thinks like, oh, I'm going to do pottery like Demi Moore and Ghost. She just made a big lump and then made it.
Yeah.
Didn't make anything.
Oh, so true.
That's very true.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Lisa Barbosa wants to know, can we be friends? She's a crocheter too. She's amazing. You guys are both going to be in the virtual marketplace together on at our summit. So.
I'm so looking forward to that. That sounds fantastic. So
It's
really
going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah, thank you for being a part of it. We're really excited
Yeah.
that you're going to be here.
Thank you for organizing that. You know, just celebrating this year, the 100th year, and promoting empowerment to women. I just think that's yay.
Yeah, we're excited to. We've wanted to do it for a while. For people who don't know what we're talking about, good time for a shameless plug. So we are hosting the first annual virtual Passionistas Project Women's Equality Summit, August 21st through August 23rd. It's all online. It's free to be an attendee, and it's going to be 3 days of workshops. Oops, there's a gardener.
There's the gardeners.
Workshops, live panels, pre-recorded presentations, a short film festival, a storytelling event, and then a marketplace and a charitable portal called the Pay It Forward portal, and it's all based around the theme of women's equality. And so we have wonderful women who are participating in the marketplaces, which is what you'll be doing. And on that day, that'll be live on Saturday and Sunday of the weekend. And basically, we're just going to connect out to women's websites, and they can either be doing a Facebook Live, or they'll have a pre-recorded video, or maybe it's just their store and you can go check out what they have for sale. And really, the whole weekend is just about letting women tell their stories, share their products, share their information about their charities, and to promote women's equality, but also to figure out how collectively we can all band together to be a stronger force to change the world and the way things are in it, so that we all have a fair shake.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we're thrilled. We have so many. The pre-recorded videos are starting to come in, and I've basically been in tears for
they're amazing.
3 days straight. They're such a diverse group of women, and they're sharing the most personal stories imaginable. Some have never told these stories before, and we're covering LGBTQ plus issues. We're covering racial equality and sizeism and ageism, and a million things. I could go on and on.
Eat the patriarchy. That's what Aileen says.
I like it. I like it.
That's a t-shirt waiting to be made.
We were talking about the Great British Bake Off beforehand, and I just pictured a cake shaped pan and a giant slice cut out of it.
Those really super realistic cakes that they make.
Oh my God. Those are the best challenges on that show. It's like, it has to look like a picnic basket, and like people make a ham that looks like out of cake that looks like a real ham. And, oh God.
Amazing.
If I had more time during the shutdown, that is what I wish and a bigger kitchen. That is what I wish I was doing as my new skill.
Baking more.
Making those kind of cakes that are just like showstopper cakes.
Yeah. My sister makes incredible cakes. Not necessarily the showstopper, but taste wise. So yeah, she's she's incredible with what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss that from living here and not being over the other side of.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have cousins, Aileen and Jillian, and their mom, Bonnie, and their sister-in-law, Anna. They're all incredible chefs and bakers, and they make these cakes that are, I don't know how they do it,
Yeah.
but
Right.
it's
Yeah.
fun.
Incredible.
So how often do you usually get back to England, and how hard has it been for you not to be able to travel right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite trapped. You know, I mean, I love it here. Like all of us, our freedom has changed. Generally, once a year, if not twice, or I go once a year. My family come once. My mum, my sister, my nephew. In fact, my sister should have been. She had this dream of doing a US road trip, and she should have been on sabbatical, a 6-month sabbatical from work, like now, and she had all these plans, right? They'd booked the Winnipeg, you know, the
Yeah. Oops, we've lost your audio there. Oh, I can't hear Angela.
I
Can you?
can't hear. No.
We lost you,
lost you.
Angela. I don't think she can hear us.
I
No.
might have lost you.
Oh, there we go. Now you're back.
She's back. You're back.
So we lost you at she was going to rent an RV.
Yes, so she was going to rent an RV and go up Highway 1 and do all these plans. So they should have been here. My sister, my brother-in-law, my nephews should have been here. But yeah, so now my mum never had a cell phone until this lockdown.
So she never had seen Harry Potter, and she never had a cell phone.
She refused the whole cell phone thing. She refused the whole Wi-Fi thing. So for Mother's Day in the UK is March. So we got her a cell phone. My nephew set her up, and her neighbors next door, bless them, have set her up. So she's on their Wi-Fi. So we didn't have to get. They're so adorable. She's on their Wi-Fi. So now we watch movies with Skype. We daily have a writing task. So every day, so my mum, my husband, myself, my nephew who is 16. And sometimes my sister and my brother-in-law drop in depending on how their life is. And each week I give the ideas of what to write, and we come up with a paragraph. And so we've been doing these writing tasks. I think we've done like 60 of these. Yeah.
60. Wow.
Yeah. So we skipped a few days. Thousands of words that we've written. So today's was a pier, you know, like a pier, like Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah.
And pier and was it tea? Anyway, each day we have space travel. My nephew threw that one in. Space travel. Yesterday was tea and soap, and so random things. And we have to come up with either a made-up story, or my mum is writing poems. Hilarious, because they all mention a cup of tea. She just circles around, and we're like, here it comes. And home for a nice cup of tea. It's just so funny, and the way she's embraced this technology has just been awesome. But that's something we're doing, you know, to make sure that we get my 16-year-old nephew to do some brain work rather than play games.
Yeah.
But all of us, our writing skills have improved, and it's just a nice way of lightening, you know, again, not watching the news or talking about what's going on. It's just like, hey, we're getting together for an hour, we all stop whatever we're doing, and
I
so do you
love
read
that idea.
Do you read each other what you write, or do you just?
Yes, we take it in turns to read each other what we've written, and share, and and comment and all
I love
positive. You know,
that.
there's no wrong. You know, there's
Right.
nothing wrong. It's all wonderful. And you know, my nephew has 16, so of course people die or get blown up.
Right.
Your mom has a nice cup of tea.
And my mum does agree. And and it's just been again.
I love that so much.
I do
That is such a
too.
great idea.
We have to do that with Charlotte, with our niece.
Yes.
We would love
Yeah,
that.
that would be fun.
So it's my mum's birthday in September, and I plan to get a collection of what we've written and get one of those self-published,
Oh,
books.
that's great.
So just like, and that's our COVID-19.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But isn't that like, again, like as horrible as what's going on is, like, we never would have done that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Even my nephew said a couple of days ago, he's like, I'll miss this when we get back to normal, whatever that is, or whenever that is. And I said, honey, as again, I Skype with him every day, but I said, honey, we can do this. We can do it once a week,
Right.
and say, hey, and just continue it. Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Let's see, we got some comments. Aileen says, I'm sorry. She's never seen Harry Potter and never had a cell phone. True.
And then she goes on to say, I'm pretty sure all those words were English, but I'm not sure I'm understanding how they work together in that sentence.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure there's some British law that we all have.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're from Massachusetts. We have to like the Kennedys, whether
That's right.
that's really justified or not. Like, I feel very protective of the Kennedys.
Yeah.
There's a written law somewhere, and my mum, she's a little bit rambunctious with things like that. She's like, they want me to have a cell phone? I don't want that. And I think she loves it when people say, and what's your email address, or I don't have. She's been rebellious then.
And Aileen, you'll be happy to know they've started watching Harry Potter as a group. So
yes,
I've already seen 2 of them. So it's being fixed. Problem. Very, very big problem. Aileen said she married into the Kennedys.
Huh?
I think
What's that?
That's her husband's last name is Kennedy, right?
Oh.
But not the, is it the Kennedys? Is there a distant relation that we don't know about, Aileen?
Yeah.
We have to know more.
There's a story there. We want to know.
I know.
Yeah. Well, it's already 10 minutes to 4.
That flew by. That was really fun.
This is really fun. Thank you so much for doing this. We're up here with a few announcements before we say our real goodbye to you. But Nan, do you want to?
Yeah. So as we mentioned, our big thing right now is the summit. We're pushing the summit. If you go, we have a link on one of our Facebook messages. There's a contest going on right now. We're giving away 5 free equality packs, which is this really great fun little thing to make the weekend more enjoyable and engaging. There's a notebook and pen and snacks and all sorts of fun things in there, all women made. So you're supporting all kinds of women by getting that. But we're giving away a few of those this week. I think tomorrow's the last day to enter.
Yep.
And go and register for the summit. It's going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing weekend. We want to thank, we already have a bunch of sponsors that have donated some amazing products and gifts for us, and we want to thank them. We want to thank Annette Kaler, an attorney. She's amazing. If you ever need an IP attorney, she's fabulous.
Yeah, if you have a trademark or need to patent something, she's an expert at patents, and especially interested in helping women get patents, because that's such an underserved
Did you say it's like 1% of all patents are owned by women or something
crazy.
outrageous like that?
And it used to be that not to get too far off the beaten path, but it used to be that women weren't legally allowed to get patents.
Yeah.
So
It had to be filed in a man's name.
Yeah, so your husband had to file the patent for you, and then he would own the patent. So if you got divorced, you had no rights to anything, and he would.
Too bad.
So
Yeah.
that's mission is to make sure that women are getting their patents and being treated fairly, and she's amazing.
Yeah. And our other sponsors are Tea Drops, Ubu Skills, Luna and Luna Bars are helping us put on the Luna Fest on Friday night, Trizcom, Public Relations, and LA Pride. So we really want to thank all of them for all the support that they've given us. And we have some amazing women lined up already, and we're getting new people every day. So if you go to the website, you can see who we already have, and we're starting to flesh out the schedule a little bit.
You can nail that down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you want to just mention some of the panelists, Nan? And
I think we should. So we are going to have 4 live panels that weekend. One of them is going to be the racial equality panel, and Jane, who is a Passionista that we interviewed a while ago. She's a diversity coach out of Boston, and she's going to be moderating that panel. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a voter equality panel. Kat Calvin from Spread the Vote and Project ID and Andrea Haley from vote.org are going to co-moderate that panel. We're going to have a financial equality panel moderated by Kate Anderson from I Fund Women. So they're going to talk all about getting funding for women. Again, another place where you wouldn't believe the ratio of men getting funded versus women getting funded. And lastly, we're going to have a panel that's called Two Spirit and the LGBTQIA+ women uniting in power and intersectionality. And it's going to be moderated by Madonna Cacciatore, who's the executive director of LA Pride. And the panelists with her are going to be Alexandra Magalon, Sephi Shine, and you Big A. And I can't even begin to tell you how amazing that panel is going to be.
yeah, that's going to be incredible. And then we have 3 workshops. So one workshop every day. One is, you do not want to miss, Dia Bondi is hosting the Ask Like an Auctioneer workshop, which is this amazing concept she has. She's a brilliant communications coach, but she also is a part-time for fun auctioneer and helps people with charity auctions. She's incredible. And so she's going to teach women how to ask for what they deserve and ask for money and just the big ask. We have Jessica Craven, who's an incredible activist who dedicates her life every day to figuring out missions that we should all be on and what Congress, what to call our Congress people about, what to reach out to our senators about. So she's going to teach Activism 101 to teach us all how to get ready for the election. Megan Hamilton is going to do a speaking with power for women, a public speaking workshop for women, which is really important. And then we just have a bunch of presentations. We won't list them all, but we'll tell you a few of them just because these women are so incredible. A lot of you know May Chandran from her doing a Facebook Live with us and her daughter Sashi. We're going to run May's interview, and May, as you may remember, was born in China and as a little girl was left by her family. Her mother and father and brother went to America and left her. She was, I think, 4 or 5 years old at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They left her alone in China, and she had to overcome incredible adversity to get to the States and build the ultimate perfect family, which she has done. So she's going to talk about that. We have Malini Rajendran, who actually lives in India and walks us through the state of the world for women in India, which is just fascinating. Poonam Saxena is going to talks about being a woman, growing up in the South as a Indian woman of the Hindu religion and what it was like to be the only non-white and non-black person living in Alabama as a child and what her life is like now. We have, who else is going to join us? Carolyn Koppel, who some of you know. Carolyn is going to talk about what it's like to be the female caregiver of a disabled child and her experiences of how people treat her versus her husband, which is really interesting. We mentioned Marilyn Opitz earlier. Marilyn is doing a presentation on sizeism, which is a topic that no one discusses, and it should be discussed, and it's
like,
really
yeah.
important. And
bring you to tears.
yeah,
It's so moving.
Ramona Harvey's going to talk about happiness. Suze Carpenter is talking about your mental and physical health and how those two things work together. We have Erica Wright talking about homeless equality. And those are just some of the
scratching the surface.
All of those presentations you can watch at your own leisure. The live events will obviously be live at a certain time, but the rest of it will be up for the whole weekend, so you can hunt and peck through it and find the topics that appeal to you and that are important to you, or that you don't know anything about and want to educate yourself about. Yeah. So that's
and everything has a call to action. Everything, it's not just here's my story, but here's my story and here's what you can do to help change this. So we're really excited about it. We hope all of you can join us. It's free to register. There's some upgrades if you want the bells and whistles, but everybody can watch all of the content for free. So please register. Encourage everyone you know to register. I think it's going to be a really fun and important weekend. And
encourage men to register as well, yes, because we can all talk about this together and we can all fight together, but without men standing by our side, it's not going to go very far. So we need to educate our men too.
Yes.
Yeah. And there will be the marketplace, which
that's right.
We're so glad that you're going to be a part of.
Yes.
We really appreciate you joining up, and being an active member of the Passionistas community. And we hope everybody will go to the marketplace and buy Cutelaces. Maybe pick up a face mask, check out fabric stores.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was really great to get to know you.
Thank you. It's been so much fun. Thank you.
It was really fun.
We had a blast. And hopefully we'll see you in Vegas or LA when this is all over.
Oh, we'll meet in London. That's what I say. That's my vote.
All right. The Covent Garden Hotel.
Nice.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe and stay passionate.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.